Don't tell me they got engaged the day she offed herself. No wonder my boy couldn't move on. She didn't want to move on from this place, so she overdosed on those pills. If she would wake up, then she would start her new life out. And then if she didn't, then she would die in her paradise on that perfect summer. So today we're talking about the final episode of Kowloon Generic Romance, which in my opinion is unironically a top 10 anime for me. You can come at me if you want. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, share your support, subscribe if you're new around here, and of course Patreon, we got the full live reactions and exclusives there. I love this show from episode 1 and all the way to episode 13. It made my mind race in such a way that's best described as it's the same adrenaline rush that I got when I first watched Serial Experiments Lane. And I don't say this as an insult to Lane, but in my opinion, Lane walked so Kowloon could run. Mainly because the idea of the what is real, what are we interpreting, what does this all mean? The interesting thing is that there's a live action version of this being made, and the manga is, I think, ending soon. And from what I know, all 3 versions of this show are going to have differences, and I think the endings would all be different. Given that the anime ended good, like everyone got a happy ending basically, that makes me think that one of the endings is probably going to be only Kudo or Kudra lives and the other dies, and then the other ending would be they both don't make it, like I assume. I don't know. I'm very content with the anime ending. I thought for sure we would end up having our girl leave and she would disintegrate. Now, I did admit, I think it was the last video I made on the channel, that there is an out, because when Yaomei left, stuff like the frills or the earrings that only existed in that illusion did survive outside. So there is a way, they already established that things that were made inside this illusion could leave in certain situations. But the idea of a man who is so... This year of anime is just about grief. We got a new show that started up yesterday about child depression. Then we had depression of a man who was deeply in love with a woman, and he had no idea she was depressed. And that's so damn believable, because most of the most, depressed people in existence look like the most normal and happiest, because they mask their depression. And when they end up offing themselves, the family, the friends, the lovers are often confused because they might say, yeah, there's a couple of signs, but, you know, everyone has bad days. My interpretation of Kudra's death is that she got the sleeping pills, so there was 5 in those pills, or 5 pills in that bag. What we know about those pills is that if you took all of them, you're probably not waking up. If you take one of them, you're just going to have a very deep sleep. It's very much a take the recommended dosage, anything else could easily kill you. And it seems like... This is what's tragic. My boy proposed the night before she died. And I truly believe she did care for Kudo. She might have even loved Kudo. The issue is that this summer was so beautiful to her, and the fact that this area that they lived in was about to be torn down. I think it made her clinically depressed to the point that she didn't want to live. Now, I don't think she took all those pills hoping she would die. I truly think it was a gamble. That she saw 2 things. And I think what makes this such a beautifully tragic tale is Kudo didn't do the same thing. For her, she said, I'm going to take these pills. If I wake up, I'll start a new life. I'll go with Kudo, I'll move on from my situation, my summer that's, not supposed to end. But if I die here, I would rather die in my summer paradise. Which is heartbreaking for Kudo because he's left with nothing. The Gene Terror taps into him and lets him live this endless summer, which, as he confirms in this episode, he thought for sure it was a dream up until the end of this episode. Kudo had the chance to do the same thing as her. Die in an endless dream. Because she went to sleep dreaming of the thing that she loved, potentially never waking up, and he was trapped in a dream, potentially never waking up. 2 years! Our girl, which is kind of cruel. But 2 years later, he comes and reveals that, no, he is. And I think what's so touching about it is that what we know about the original Kudra, she doesn't like endings. So as much as she loved that first book, she never read the second book because she doesn't want to see things end. Depression, right? The new one, I don't even want to say the new one. Our Kudra read the second book. The best thing too, our boy only ate the same food every single time. He ended up eating that lemon chicken outside. So he's accepted that things have to change. And I think it's an incredibly touching ending that really speaks home with the power of depression and what depression can lead to. Not only how you can't see depression so often in others, what it can easily just rip away from you, but most importantly, how many would get lost in a dream world when you have the thought of, seeing her again. The biggest question I had was why she existed the way she did, and they answered it beautifully. Our boy didn't really know her. What he knew was the happiness and the persona she put on. He didn't know the ins and outs of the original her. So when he tried to create it from memory, he created the physical, but it was her own person. And the fact that her own person became an entity, a human being, not a generic, is such a brilliant way to write that, because so much of it was picture perfect. But the one thing he wanted to know the most, inside and out, she never really opened up, and she hid so much of who she truly was. I truly believe Kudo loved her, 100%. Unfortunately, I think she probably cared for him, but yeah, I think she loved the city more than anything, and she took her life. I think had she woke up that day and the pills didn't kill her, I think she would have tried, but I truly think that that's where she wanted to go. And that's such a touching tale, man. It is still bittersweet learning the truth, but I'm so happy that Kudo accepted that it was time to move on. And the fact that our girl, because everything that we saw about her, it did make her feel like a real human. She deserved to be able to walk out there and not evaporate. And that is brilliant. Some people will watch it, they'll say, oh yeah, it was pretty good, but I don't really think it's like top 10. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. This shit was a top 10 for me. I don't really make top 10 lists because it can change so often, but there are certain shows that I've watched over the past year. Orb on the Movements of the Earth, Generic Romance. That's among some of the best shit I've ever seen, and this is going to be an interesting year for Anime of the Year. Some good stuff airing, man. You can let me know what you thought. 13 episodes, didn't need a single moment more. I'm a little scared to even look up how the other versions of the story might end, because I'm very content with this one, but I might peek the live action at some point. You let me know your thoughts. What did you think, and are you satisfied with this ending like I am, or did you want it to go a different way? Let me know. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell, of course, so you get notified when I upload more, and yes, Patreon is where those full live reactions live for every single episode, and hey, I give other exclusives like video shoutouts to my patrons. So today we got Gareth Green, Durberg Jude, Third Dynasty, Arter Kunha, Devin Mitchell, Tony X, Spectra, Monty7, Rekatron, Buanake Muniklozuria, Kyle Kolachuk, Pixcalibur, Sign, and we also have Ashless. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You all have a good one.